It's Sean here again, and this is my live broadcast, and we are talking tonight about how to live with chronic pain. You know, there's a difference between acute pain and chronic pain. Acute pain makes you aware of an injury, of something that needs attention right now. But chronic pain is that dull ache that just doesn't go away. It can last for weeks, it can last for months, it can last for years, and it just stays there. In fact, what happens is we get used to that pain, chronic pain, and we begin to learn to live with it. We begin to adapt our bodies, adapt our lifestyle around that chronic pain. Now, when you're living without a vision, without a mission, without a purpose, without a sense of values, you begin to live a chronic pain in your life, a frustration, a continual limitation that you feel you can't move forward. You get stuck and you learn to live with it. And that is a sad situation, because you learn to live with your chronic pain. You just don't want to deal with it. You know, you just take a painkiller, and your painkillers could be anything from watching too much television to reading fantasy books to fantasizing to doing stupid stuff, hanging out with people that are going to take you nowhere, because you've just got a chronic pain, a dull ache of going nowhere. And we've got to distinguish, the two. We've got to realize when we have that chronic pain, don't live with it, deal with it, tackle it. What you don't engage never changes. So what you need to do is engage your life where it's at that point in time. Don't bury yourself. Don't go and die in your little hole. A rut is a grave with both ends knocked out. It just keeps going round and round and round. And it's the same grave. And you get stuck in that. Somehow you've got to change your environment, change something so that you can begin to dream, so that you can begin to be creative. A couple of years back, I went through a major thing and a major crisis in my own life. I seemed to lose management and leadership of my own life. I seemed to lose direction, the strategy of my own purpose. And it got to the place where, I just did not know which way to turn. I didn't know which way to look. I didn't know what decision was the right decision anymore. In fact, I wasn't even in a place to make a decision. I couldn't see the future. I couldn't see a vision. I didn't know what my mission was anymore. I'd lost my sense of purpose in life and my sense of significance. But you know what? I would go for long walks and people were shouting at me and saying, you're dreaming too big. Because what I began to say is, I will see this. This is what my dream is. I will accomplish this. And people around me just began to say, you'll never see it. You're thinking, you're dreaming too big. It's too much. So I would go for these long walks with tears streaming down my face and making bold affirmations and declarations, is that one day I will bring transformation. One day I will help people to live significantly. One day I will, bring a first-class message to a first-class audience globally. I will speak to people. I will bring a transformation. I will bring a message. I will speak in hotels, and I will speak in conference centers. I will bring seminars, and I will help CEOs and managing directors. I will help them to be the best leader they can be. I will bring transformation to their life. And I began to say that, and tears would be streaming down my eyes as I was walking around the park, and some people just ignored me because they didn't think I was anything to take notice of. But that was fine, And slowly but surely, I began to claw myself out of a situation that seemed like a dead end. The pain, the chronic pain, the gnawing pain just seemed to debilitate me. It seemed like I was restricted. I was limited. I couldn't do anything. outside of just feeling sorry for myself. But I decided, you know what, I'm not going to blame others. I'm not going to blame my situation. I'm not going to settle for where I'm at. I'm going to dream. I'm going to set a vision. I'm going to believe every day. I'm going to believe in a future, in a destiny. I'm going to believe I'm bigger than where I am right now. I'm going to believe that I'm bigger than I was in my past. I'm going to believe for something better in the future. However long it takes, I will refuse to give up. I'm going to be constant. I'm going to be persistent. I'm going to be resilient through everything. I'm going to confront what I need to change. I'm going to deal with what I need to shift. I'm going to face the obstacles head on, but I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to become what I am destined to become. And so I began to deal with that chronic pain, and more like taking anti-inflammatories, and you know what I found is that when you're dealing with chronic pain, like chronic back pain, which I had an operation a couple of years ago and I just suffered. But the more I began to work my back area, my hip area, the more stretches I did, the more planking I did, the more exercise I got, the less painful it was. At one point I couldn't even sleep at night. It was so painful. But I began to just stretch before bed, stretch in the mornings when I got up. I began to move and use certain movements to keep my hip and pelvic areas moving. I would go and visit my osteopath and let her work on my back a little bit. And every time it just got better and better and better. And to the point that whereas I couldn't sleep at night, got like maybe 3 hours of sleep at night. Now I sleep right through the night, simply because, I began to tackle that thing. I refused to allow it to control my life. I refused to allow chronic pain to debilitate me, to hold me back, to limit me. I refused to be stuck in a place where pain ruled my life. But many times people are like that. They refuse to take leadership and management of their life. They refuse to begin to set a strategy and set a vision and set a mission for their life. And so what happens is they get stuck and they're just prepared to live with that chronic pain. And I want to say to you, you don't have to live with the chronic pain. Deal with it. Face it. Like doing exercises and stretching, stretch yourself on the inner man. Stretch yourself from the inside out. Begin to deal with the things that are holding you back. Begin to press through and begin to dream. Begin to set a mission again and begin to see a vision again. And regardless of the circumstances, is begin to set something that sets the leadership and the management for your life. Don't get stuck.